The Constitutional Council of Cameroon has entered a decisive phase in its pre-election activities ahead of the presidential poll scheduled for October 12, 2025. Since Monday, August 4, the Council has been hearing and ruling on dozens of appeals submitted by presidential aspirants and political stakeholders challenging the decisions taken by Elections Cameroon Elecam regarding the acceptance and rejection of candidacies. One of the most significant developments so far is the rejection of Maurice Kamto's petition to be reinstated as a presidential candidate. The verdict was delivered this Tuesday, August 25, by the President of the Constitutional Council, Clement Atangana, after lengthy hearings on Monday involving Maurice Kamto and Dieudonné Yebga, each claiming to be the legitimate candidate of the MANIDEM political party. Elecam had earlier disqualified both Kamto and Yebga from the presidential race on the grounds that MANIDEM had submitted two candidacies, thereby violating Article 121, Paragraph 2 of Cameroon's 2012 Electoral Code, which clearly states that each legally constituted political party may present only one candidate for the presidential election. Kamto's legal team argued that he was the properly invested candidate, claiming that Yebga's candidacy was fraudulent and unsupported by the current leadership of MANIDEM. Despite this argument, the Constitutional Council ruled that it had no jurisdiction to interfere in intra-party disputes and declared that Kamto's petition lacked sufficient justification to overturn Elecam's decision. In short, the Council determined that it was not its role to decide which candidate was validly nominated by MANIDEM. As a result, both candidacies were rejected. Kamto's rejection has dominated headlines, but he is far from being the only aspirant whose petition has been denied. Several other candidates, including Bertin Kisop, were rejected due to procedural errors such as incomplete documents, invalid signature, or failure to meet residency or legal status. A similar fate was held by Leon Theodore Onana, who challenged the eligibility of incumbent President Paul Biya. His petition was equally rejected. As it stands, Elecam has approved 13 candidates for the presidential race, pending final validation by the Constitutional Council. These include President Paul Biya, now seeking the 8th consecutive term at the age of 92, and the opposition figure Cabral Libi, whose own candidacy was briefly questioned due to internal rifts within the PCRN party. According to the law, the Constitutional Council must include its review and publish a final list of approved candidates not later than August 11, that is, 10 days after the window for appeals opened. Its decision, once rendered, are final and legally binding as stipulated by Law Number 2004/004, that is governing the functioning of the Constitutional Council. However, the impartiality and independence of the Constitutional Council have been subject to intense debate. Critics point out that a majority of its 11 members are appointed by the President of the Republic, raising questions about its ability to make neutral decisions in political sensitive cases. Civil society groups, members of legal profession, and even religious leaders such as the Bishop of Bafoussam, His Lordship Paul Lonchikone, who have publicly expressed concerns regarding on the Council to uphold justice and not merely procedures. The rejection of high-profile opposition figures like Maurice Kamto could have far-reaching consequences. While the Constitutional Council is fulfilling its legal mandate, the spirit of democracy demands more than compliance with procedure. It demands transparency, fairness, and genuine political competition. With the October 12 election looming, The real test lies not just on who appears on the ballot, but in whether Cameroonians believe the system reflects their will. As the hearings continue in Yaoundé, all eyes remain on the council, not only for its rulings, but for the signal it sends about the future of governance, justice, and democratic accountability in Cameroon.